Good afternoon, Skills Center. Today is Election Day, so we have a special edition Election Day report. This is a big day for the country, and by tomorrow morning, we'll know who our next president will be.
We went out and asked a few of our staff members their thoughts on this year's election. Let's hear what they have to say.
Mr. Chambers, how do you think the election will turn out?
I think we're going to see an excellent turnout tonight. I think we're going to see more than in years past just because of the passionate people that are in this election. I do feel that Hillary Clinton is going to come out on top tonight, maybe by a few electoral votes, but I do suspect her to have a pretty large margin of popular vote, and I do expect her to win presidency.
Really, based on the most of the projections, I'm not talking about preference, but it looks like based on the early polls that Hillary Clinton should come away with the victory.
You know, I think that Hillary will win, but I do not think by a vast margin. I don't think by a landslide. I don't even think by a fraction. I think she will just barely make it by the skin of her teeth.
Well, I have a feeling that Hillary Clinton probably has the edge at this point from everything that I've heard from the various news agencies.
What does a Trump presidency look like?
A Trump presidency looks like... I'm not sure. It's really going to depend on the Congress because he's a little divisive, some of the things he says for people. But if he is Republican, if the Senate stays Republican, the House stays Republican, it could be a little bit different than we have. We have gridlock right now, so not really sure.
I think a Donald Trump presidency won't be as bad as people would say. I do believe that Donald Trump is a very, very intelligent businessman. I do believe that Donald Trump does have leadership capabilities. Do I believe he's going to be one of the best presidents we've ever had? No, I don't. Do I believe he's going to be able to get the funding for a $5 trillion wall on the Mexican border? No, I don't. Do I believe that we're going to just immediately get bombed by Russia? No, I don't. But I do believe that if he were to come up with any kind of really crazy idea, the Congress would stop that in its tracks.
Honestly, I'm honestly on the fence. I appreciate his outsider kind of approach. But, you know, the remarks that he makes and his inflammatory language and his denigrating language and the way that he can just get baited into a problem with something as simple as a tweet really makes me concerned for, you know, what that presidency would actually end up. You know, could it be good? Could he make great deals, big deals, super deals? Maybe he will. But I'm more afraid of what may happen. That might not be the best for the country.
You know, I think you could say at its worst, it could be authoritarian and outright tyrannical to a point at exercising an unimaginable surveillance state type of security and waging incredibly destructive wars against everything from illegal immigration to other diplomatic nations we've had ties with. At the most likely, it will be a presidency where nothing gets done, and anything that does get done will last for the extent of his presidency.
Well, that's a great question. The business community apparently doesn't have very favorable reviews of it. The stock market and all the economy issues, it's an unknown entity with Trump versus they think they have an idea with Clinton, so that they're more in favor of that.
How will a Clinton presidency look like?
A Clinton presidency would look like if Congress stays the same, pretty much what we have now, which is going to be gridlock. A Republican Congress and a Democratic president. Not a lot's going to get done. We have an open Supreme Court seat, which means the Senate said they're not going to fill it. So it's going to be an interesting 4 years if it's a Clinton presidency.
Once again, same kind of thing with the Clinton presidency. Many people are worried about some of the things that Hillary Clinton does, such as like higher taxation, you know, like her lies about like, you know, like the emails, things like that or whatever. Okay, all this various different kind of like really bad stuff that's been going on with Hillary, and plus like a lot of the stuff that her husband did in the past. The big thing to know about a Hillary Clinton presidency is I do believe it'll be very similar to what an Obama presidency is like. I don't believe she's going to be able to get free public college. Do I believe she might be able to get tuition rates reduced at colleges? Yes, I think that'd be a great thing. And I think that she has the ability and capability to be an excellent leader in this country.
Probably a lot of the same what we've seen with President Obama. They have a lot of very similar views. They're both the party affiliation in terms of Democratic left, right, center views are very similar. And a lot of the same names are being bounced around as potential cabinet appointees.
I think a Clinton presidency will probably be, at its best, a new possibility, a new doorway, opening wider there. I think President Obama did his absolute best to open wide, but I think at its worst, President Clinton could breathe, and the Republicans will, fight her on the way she takes her breath.
Probably lucrative for the Clintons. I can tell you that. But, she is definitely establishment. But based on the environment in the country right now, I think a little bit of stability would be a good thing. She knows the people. She knows how to make deals the same way that the Donald does. What would it look like? That remains to be seen. I hope. I don't believe that Trump can bring parties together. I don't see it happening. My hope is if Clinton gets elected that she makes a concerted effort to do so. Because again, these candidates are up there because of us. It's not them. They reflect us. So if we are divided, then we put divided and divisive candidates up for election. So the problem is us. The solution is us. So I have hope for what the next president can do, but I'm a little pessimistic because we have to be the ones to change. The change is not going to come down from the top. We have to make that decision. And right now, the country does not seem to be in the state of mind to make a decision having to do with compromise or meeting in the middle.
Why is there so much support for Trump?
Trump has captured the disenfranchised voices that people feel like they don't have representation, especially his biggest support is white male with no college, so tends to be the manufacturing sector. They like him. He talks about jobs, so that is kind of what he captured. And that's why he has a lot of support.
I feel there's a lot of Trump support because I feel that he really taps into a lot of our inner feelings, okay? Many of us as Americans oftentimes feel that the government is very shady. We feel that the government may not be in the best interest of the people. And I think that, what Donald Trump has really preached throughout the election is that he's going to be for the people and he's going to do, what is in the best interest of the people, and that he can't be bought by someone like other government officials can. And many Americans believe that. So that's why so many people really support Donald Trump.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion. That is what is great about this country. Personally, I don't believe in what he's selling, but I value everyone else's right to make their own personal decisions. It's what makes this country great.
People who vote for Trump believe that talking about race is being divisive and addressing massive problems like gun control or climate change or trying to create authoritarian governments, when in all actuality, this is a time where the government is trying to increase and better its own effectiveness for all of us. Does it slip up? Sure, every government does. But people who vote for Trump, they may not believe in his racist comments or his sexist comments, but I still think that they don't see the full picture of who he is or what he is.
Because I think there's a lot of disenfranchised people out there in America, and they're looking for a way to get back into the fold. Over the last number of years, prior to Obama, there has been a condensing of the middle class.
How do you think the people will react after the results?
What's good about America is they will completely forget about what's going on. We'll go back to caring about the Kardashians and all the important stuff in the world. So as tomorrow, people wake up and right back to their normal lives.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stay off of social media. That's all I got to say. They are going to be very, very angry. If Hillary doesn't win, we'll have a lot of people that are very angry at Mr. Trump. If Trump wins, we're going to have a lot of angry Clinton supporters. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some rioting going on. Maybe not as bad as like a Baltimore riot or something, but I could see some small-scale rioting going on. Absolutely.
America has a kind of a low voter turnout, but at the same time, tomorrow could mean a lot of things. There are a lot of angry Trump voters who talk about picking up their muskets and ending the reign of Clinton before it's even began because they believe that she's a tyrant. That's the same thing for the left. There are people who believe Trump will become a tyrant at its worst. I'm not entirely sure. It could be the beginning of something new and another historic event for this country, electing a woman president and maybe continuing to push new humanitarian, economic, and overtly good American efforts in this country and across the world, or it could be the closing of a door that we saw open with Obama's presidency.
I think either way, there's going to be probably a lot of discord, perhaps, over it, because there's a lot of deep-seated values and feelings in this election, more so than in the past.
Thanks, guys. Remember, if you are over 18 and registered to vote, go out and do so. Have a great afternoon.